information given on where Paquito is very vital for the side of Team Myanmar, so that Miens and also Shine will be able to make a good call whether do I step forward aggressively or when do I back off. But I'm a little bit concerned about the side of Team Myanmar because they may not pack enough heat to deal with Rossa coming up from the side of Team Indonesia.
Well, that being said, this is game number 1, Indonesia and Myanmar. Middle of the pack, you say, Jays. This is going to be a do or die for either side.
Yeah, this is a very important game for both of these two teams, right? Of course, I feel like if you want to talk about region pride, the fact that you are carrying the flag of an MPL and also an M7, this alter ego that we're talking about, I think it's a more important game for the side of Team Indonesia, right? You don't want to drop and then get a risk to be disqualified away from the Goya. Don't forget, you already dropped out from the MPL ID playoffs. The next thing you want is to really drop out from the Goya.
Extremely annoying duel. We've always seen this quite a bit, Jusin and the Khalid. Jusin typically falls off on the ban priority and always leak through in that front mid side. A little bit of a touch and go action from both sides. What's the matchup like for Paquito? Do you think in the early game, it doesn't look like there is any proxy going on? I would expect a little bit more aggression across the jungles and into the invasion for at least the Uranus. Xiaoqi would be in the losing end at least until he gets his level 4.
I feel like you just answered your own question right there, true.
Fair.
Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, exactly. I was expecting more proxy wave coming off of Paquito and also the Uranus. Maybe you see a split. But I think it's also because you also have to take into consideration that you've got Team Myanmar. Ooh, Dingarai down low.
Able to get safer now. So responding on the next 13 seconds though.
Currently, it's just a member from the side of Team Indonesia. I think just making sure that they got the key items up. Level 4 for the Uranus as compared to a level 4 of the Paquito. I think a lot more damage, a lot more priority given over to Paquito.
Oh, that's the Goon Squad. Delvin uses the jetpack to get out of there though, but Indonesia able to get out safe for now. Uranus going to be showing a lot of trouble as with this point. Xiaoqi keeping the pressure at bay. He's definitely going to get out safe. Getting pulled back. Xiaoqi, the spot bother. Will he be able to get out as first blood going into Hein?
And then even though the damage coming off of Delvin on this Kimi was not good enough to basically push down Hein as well. First blood given over side of Team Myanmar, not only just that first turtle as well, and immediately you see the rotations coming in from the side of Team Myanmar. They are already hard invading right there, and it's not looking good for a start for the side of Team Indonesia.
Not only that, the turtle didn't go in the way of Indonesia on the bottom side as well. Look at where Dingarai is underneath that turret. The damage from Mia on this Khalid is just too much to handle right from the early game. And even the lane priority is shifting towards the favor of Moskov. As a gold laner, how do you deal with that? You're both late game heroes. Who do you think would have more priority in this early game?
I think priority-wise, it's going to be a skill matchup.
That's a lockdown. On to Tuya. Will be slain by Delvin.
Yeah, a good pickup coming up from the side of Team Indonesia. That's just a consolation prize. I feel it's going to be a skill matchup. Speaking of skill matchup,
Golden Hour or late down, but not enough reach for Indonesia.
Big ultimate as well. Not only just the fact that, Dingarai couldn't actually jump into lest he gets stunned himself by that Golden Hour as well. But I spoke about this, right? It's going to be a skill matchup. It's all about whether Dingarai will be able to stack up the Art of Thievery. If Dingarai has maxed out Art of Thievery in the early game, he should be able to deal with the Moskov, but the Moskov can easily disengage with Spear of Misery.
He's also taxing a wave for this Claude. Very difficult to get him remotely close, but then again, he's always in this position where, or Claude is always in this position where you will suffer in the early game just a little bit. In the late game, finding the right position will be crucial for their success. Mid lane, a little bit of a taunt act, Fred. Getting pulled back upon, using the head spin. Trying to push Fredrin back underneath the base. You get the Appraiser's Wrath, but it will not be enough as Han goes down.
Man, Team Indonesia invited Myanmar's jungler all the way into a position that he don't want to be in. The overwhelming welcoming hospitality coming out of Team Indonesia, bringing the jungler down. It's absolutely funny.
Slowly but surely, Uranus taking a lot of damage. Hein will be able to prance out safe. Indonesia sets their sights on for this turtle.
But don't forget, it's still a 2-level difference between the two junglers. Definitely the turtle goes into the favor of Team Myanmar.
This knockout, Jusin already utilized it ultimately. Get out of the way, getting pulled back. That's a 3-man Golden Hour. Paquito on the back side. There's Akai getting fouled. The bottom side is a solo kill for this Moskov. It's a fight all over the match. Xiaoqi, bloodthirsty. Doesn't have the combo, doesn't have the ultimate. There's 2 members on him. This rush we should also use. You will be slowed down. Indonesia making mistakes. in the early game.
Trade for a trade, ladies and gents. Team Myanmar is the one that actually got out most of it. Members on the side of Team Indonesia don't have the damage to deal with Kyo as of yet. That solo kill down bot is also not very good for Dingarai. And not only just that, the mid bot lane also for the side of Team Indonesia is broken down.
Definitely not a good look, especially if you're Dingarai, just playing into the hands of Shine and you're one level behind. There's not a lot of backup coming in from that bottom side. You're left all alone, trying not to extend yourself too much far forward, but I feel like this Shine is trying to bring the wave towards himself. We're starting off this turtle again. Afan is still in position.
I feel like Team Myanmar, Stallion Pulse doesn't really catch anything into anybody.
There's lockdown, there's the stun. And there is Uranus on the back line. Dalvin had forced to use that flicker to get out of the way. The heavy spin will lock Frederick into place. The SOD goes wide. Alexander down for the count. He will be able to find a way. Getting the stun up. With that Precious Wrath getting laid down as well. It's hell breaking loose for Indonesia.
As Team Myanmar just go on and on, slot over and over and again. Team Indonesia dropping like flies. 4 members going down for the price of the road. Team Myanmar got the best thing out of this deal.
It's not over yet. Dingarai, the only member that's left, taking a huge brunt of damage from Shine.
Yeah, it's going haywire for the side of Team Indonesia right now. Team Myanmar is the one that wins in most of these clashes. It feels like, Team Indonesia wants to handshake on these team fights, but even though, Shiryuki finds an angle on this, Akito wasn't able to take down Neo, but then again, the Uranus is also doing the same, and in fact, the Uranus did a better job at zoning. If you take a look at that, Hein still unstoppable right there. Appraiser's Wrath just slapped onto Alexander, especially with so much gray health. Dingarai couldn't actually hold on and catch up. And now, because all of a sudden, Team Indonesia is kind of forced to use the heavy spin even early on. Team Myanmar, I think they're not there to take down the turtles. In fact, the whole idea is to use the turtle as an excuse to find the kills onto Team Indonesia.
On the bottom side, Hein is left all alone. Uranus might be able to get punished right here. Indonesia is trying to look for that. You're bloodthirsty. They're all saying is red, but Uranus is not giving them that satisfaction. And here comes the Goon Squad. The SOD will land. Get the Moskov also potentially coming in. This is not looking good for Indonesia.
Come on. Heavy spin at the same time. The Golden Hour will try to freeze the members. Dingarai forced to use the blaze to do it all the way back.
That's a lot of hits.
Goes down.
That's a lot of hits from Dalvin as well. As Indonesia fights their way back. The Princess Wrath. And here comes that Moskov all the way from that top side.
The problem is the Uranus. You can see how Team Indonesia don't have the damage to deal with the Uranus at all. And this is a big problem. You drafted a Kimi. I would say that is one of the ways to deal with the Uranus. You also have Dingarai on this squad as well, right? But the Uranus goes unchecked. Shiryuki on this Paquito wasn't able to, keep him in check at the same time at the top, and also unable to side push that lane, proxy the wave. He's staying underneath the turret way too much.
Hein.
The threat of Hein is way too much to handle.
Speaking of Hein, blocking off the escape route. Shiryuki nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. As Kyo picks that one up, Indonesia falling apart.
Yep, punching a metal wall, like what I mentioned earlier just now. And don't forget, this is a good pickup coming out from Afan. But if you notice, it requires a lot of resources for Team Indonesia to be able to take down everybody. And once everybody is concentrating more of their attention onto the likes of Kyo or even Hein, Shine is out doing a lot of damage. Han can also do a Praise's Wrath, slap onto somebody. Alexander doesn't really have that amount of HP bar to be able to deal with the true damage from Han as Team Myanmar secures the Lord.
Myanmar also taken away the lane advantage that Indonesia never had at this front. They're charging in the mid side, taking away the T1. Someone needs to deal with that Moskov. There's the stun up. There's a pullback over onto Afan. There's a retribution as well. He slowed down. The Prince Wrath won't be enough, but from the flank, the Khalid seals the deal underneath the turret though. Underneath, all the way from the other side, Shine extended a little bit too far, but it just goes to show how far Myanmar has come.
It doesn't really matter because the main damage dealer from the side of Team Myanmar, not only just in the form of the Moskov, technically speaking, Uranus also hurt, right? Once the Radiant stacks is up, he's also constantly healing. He also output quite a decent chunk of damage, and not only just that, you also got the Jusin, which is going to be Myomian that could literally do a lot of damage, especially when Akai is forced to step forward like that.
Yeah, speaking of Myomian, this is just annoying. You have so much front lines. It's so easy for Myomian to just pull everyone back and just healing everything back up. And what we talked about, the shift in the mid lane meta, you don't really have to build a bursty, damagey mage anymore. This is just hyper utility and just doing damage over time. Speaking about that, the Lord marching down the bottom side. The SOD also landed right from the back side. Myanmar trying to make their way in on the back side. Shiryuki trying to look for a flank. In the midst of all that, hit to the wall underneath the turret. The President goes down. Get that hit. Golden Hour locked down 2. Indonesia able to find their way onto 3. A little bit of an overextension onto Myanmar. Xiaoki a little bit too close for comfort, but they're raising the stakes, they're raising the tempo, they're shifting to high gear. Indonesia cannot find themselves another 2 kills onto the annoying boys of Myanmar.
But at the very least, 3 members for the side. Team Myanmar is taken down, so this is defendant's advantage given over side Team Indonesia. You can see the damage that Shine was able to put with the SOD, just 1 spear. Dingarai and even David's backline has to back off. Half HP left, and Team Myanmar, taking a mile out of this. If you take a look at this replay right here, and it's just, even Afan forcing the heavy spin as well. The golden hour to slow everybody down for the side of Team Myanmar, but it's not enough because the amount of sheer dominance that Team Myanmar was able to do was there, and they're already knocking on Team Indonesia's door.
Really close call for Xiaoki as well. And with this Paquito, a high priority pick, you're not doing so well. 0, 4, and 3. You can't even find lanes, you can't find any open sides for you to break through. But Myanmar, with that front, Indonesia ramping up that tempo, they want to look for a engage onto Myanmar, not happy about them breaking into their base.
Yeah. The key item that Team Myanmar has already secured is the Blade Armor for the side of Hein. Blade Armor is the key item to deal with Dingarai, to deal with Delvin as well. So they are not very safe. As long as they lay down the damage and they are able to find the burst onto the Uranus, that is it. So for the side of Team Indonesia though, if they want to circumvent around this, Xiaoyuki needs to start split pushing on the other side. Team Myanmar on the other hand, man, Uranus go bro.
Myanmar starting to zone Akai out. Indonesia needs to find a way to get in through to Shine. As long as this guy's alive and the stars are aligned, there's a lot of damage being taken out. Let's pull back into Wafan. The Princess Wrap already laid down. The heavy spin. Wolf pull one back. The golden hour lock all of them into place. Buys Indonesia some time. The Lord goes in the hands of Fredrin, and he will take control of that. Myanmar will be able to get out safe and sound. That is the taunt. A lot of damage from the Fredrin alone, but Myanmar is just hitting onto the back line. No one can deal with the Moskov. Not now. Not ever. You got Dingarai on the front line as well. There's so much to fight, Chase.
3 members down for the 3 men, but not only just that. Team Myanmar secures the low for themselves. Dingarai is still in a spot of trouble. Myanmar is going for this chase.
That's the pull. That's the lantern. That's what we want to see if you're a Myanmar fan. It's Shine against the world. Xiaoki is still left alive though. 1v2.
144 Paquito versus a level 15 Moskov. My money is on this Moskov, and not only just that, we've got the minute coming in. Luckily for the side of Team Indonesia, the minions are starting to spawn, pushing Team Myanmar away. A sigh of relief for Team Indonesia.
Good back off potential from Myanmar. They know that they're all coming up alive. Dingarai on that back line, dealing a lot of damage, but Fredrin soaking all of that up, finding some time for Myanmar to hit and get that damage done over onto Indonesia.
The damage is starting to come from the side of Team Indonesia. Afan!
Yep, the spin won't be enough to push Myomin back. Alexander popping the golden hour, but won't land onto anyone.
The golden hour. Sorry, Churros. I feel like the golden hour feels like a bit of an opposite. It's the opposite of help for the side of Team Indonesia. If you notice, the golden hour once it's set, and then after that, the rest of the team cannot find, and that's the bonk from the side of Fredrin. Lots of gray health, and he was able to just soak in another damage, turn the favor back into Delvin, and burn him down right there. But not only just that, I think the Moskov unfortunately has scaled.
Turret at a sliver in Indonesia, trying to buy that time, get that defense down. Way too deep in. Kyo will lose his life as Indonesia, another successful defense. They lost their T3 in the bot side.
Hey, unfortunately, they are losing a lot of infrastructure, right? And don't forget, like what I pointed out, the blade armor is really the biggest pain for the side of Team Indonesia. Not only just that, if you want to count with Jace, you count amount Chatai's Pauldron that Team Myanmar has built for them. Every single tank has built that, and now that is going to make Dingarai's life truly miserable.
You don't really have to deal with not only have to deal with the club, they have to deal with the Kimmy. Kelvin does have the damage already, and then you got the feather as well for a little bit more basic attack damage coming your way. You're dealing with Indonesia, able to claw themselves up again, equalizing the score.
This is a time where I feel you need something like a Sea Halberd already. I know it's not a regular item for the side of Dingarai, or I would even argue even Delvin picks it up because you need to do a lot of damage against tanks like Han, like Hang as well, and also to a certain extent Kyo at the same point, right? But the problem is Team Myanmar is just a huge thick wall protecting Moskov 611, and now with the Wind of Nature in the item as well, he is suddenly immune to all the damage, and Dingarai decides to go in with Blazing Duet, the lawyer spawn right now.
Both teams are just teasing against each other. Moskov at any one point in time can just do that damage, heal everything back up. The Lord pulled over to the side of Afan as Myanmar tries to find more information. Hein will be at the front line. Got it back on the top side. Xiaoki keeping busy with the macro gameplay. There's a push-pull onto Myomin. They understand that his Shusen is going to be a threat in the later stages. Lord at a third. It's going to be taunted in by Fredring. Trying to get a reset. There's the traction pulse. Golden Hour will lock this Moskov into place. They sound the alarm. They sound the horn. The Lord is down low. Afan steals the Lord from underneath the noses of Myanmar. This is the time for the counter engage.
Man, there was a period of time I forgot the Lord earlier just now, but I feel like the shock of the crowd actually dragged him all the way back into his duty. This is the thing that Team Indonesia should have done from, I would say, the 3rd minute mark, because, I mean, they lost so much of these neutral objectives. Finally, they're able to put that back.
What a play. Indonesia just played that so beautifully. Alexander just understanding where Moskov is, using the Golden Hour to push him back. And once he's locked up, it's just got so much time for this Lord. And like you said, Afan, he just forgot his duties. He's got his face pushing the pressuring back.
I think finally Alexander is doing exactly what I want him to do, right? His whole goal right now is to really try to push Shine all the way back. And now Team Indonesia with Lord in pocket. And of course, Dingarai this time is going to have a bit more time to scale. But don't forget, Xiaoyuki is a mid-game priority. A lot of damage.
That's a 2-man lockup with the traction pulse. Indonesia slowly but surely breaking their way in. The Lord already marched up the top side.
Not like this.
in. Myanmar, there's a Golden Hour, 2-man lockup. Might not have time for an engage. Xiaoyuki trying to find a flank. There's 2-men stun. There's a lot of damage. Down goes Hein. Uranus, Fredrin. There's a 2-man energy eruption. There's a taunt coming in as well. It's still all 5 members up for the side of Indonesia. And down goes Myanmar. A counter engage. What a game that Indonesia has built for themselves.
Team Indonesia far from the break.
It's not over yet.
And now they're going to try to push 4 men down to the side. Team Myanmar already as Team Indonesia looking for the win with 1 super minion, 1 siege minion.
It is not for naught as Indonesia clawed their way back up into the game. All